Hello and welcome to your first video lecture for sales concepts and strategies. Today we're going to do just an introduction about relationship selling. I'm going to talk about different sales careers. I'm going to talk about the different information, the way information has changed. I'm going to talk about how the buyers have all of the power in today's selling environment. We're going to talk a little bit about the different types of sales roles out there, and we're going to talk a little bit about different sales training, etc. This lecture is going to be in two parts. Part one is going to be about 15 minutes long, and then you're going to have a break, and then you can watch part two, which is about 10 minutes long or something like that. Again, this is our first foray into our video lectures. I hope you enjoy it, and then we will discuss some of these concepts when we get together during our first asynchronous meeting, which would be on Monday the 12th. Not asynchronous, this is asynchronous. I meant synchronous meeting when we're all together the first time on Monday the 12th. With that being said, let's get to chapter 1 on relationship selling. So as stated in the introduction, this chapter is all about the introduction to personal selling and the personal selling philosophy. This is the definition of personal selling. I'll let you read that. One of the key things that we want to point out in this particular class, many of you may or may not choose selling as a professional career, and that's fine. Selling is a great career. I've been in sales all my life, and even when I was in a marketing role, a lot of my role consisted of customer contact and customer selling. So again, it's something that's very, very familiar with me and something that I've been doing just about my entire career. However, even if you're not going to go into a sales profession, even if you're going to be an accountant, or even if you're going to be in corporate finance or something like that, you're going to be selling something the rest of your life. It might be an idea. It might be you in an interview. It might be selling yourself. It might be selling that idea of you getting a promotion or something like that. The key thing, and what I want to point out here, is that you can use the concepts that we're going to learn over the next 7 weeks to sell just about anything. Even if it's to convince your spouse of something, you want to buy a new house or you want to move or something like that. One of the key things is if you understand and you solve needs and you understand the other person's needs, then you can use these concepts in order to position something in order to solve that need. And maybe it's even a promotion. And you go to your boss, for instance, and say, I understand that you have a need for these particular projects or these particular things to be done. I can do those provided that I get compensated and I receive that next promotion. So basically, even when you're asking for a promotion or asking for a raise, if you use a needs selling concept or a consultative selling concept, you can position yourself better for that. Now, really, there's 3 perspectives, I guess you would say, on the personal selling philosophy. Adopting a marketing concept, and that's kind of what I've done all of my life. I've used both sales and marketing really as one in order to grow company revenues by solving customers, finding new customers, and solving customers' needs. You can do value personal selling, which is really more of customer contact and less on the marketing side, where you're adding value to your perspective, your prospects, or your current customers. And then, of course, there's the consultative selling perspective, where you become a problem solver. Your customers love to see you because every time you come in, you're solving one of their problems, either with a solution that you have or helping them with their particular business. So if you take a look at the Industrial Revolution all the way through to the 1960s, we were really in an industrial economy. And it was all about manufacturing. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie, and I'll think of the name. It was with Kevin Costner, and it was a baseball movie. But the theme of the movie is, if you build it, we will come. And that was basically the industrial economy. If you build a better mousetrap, if you build a better product, then you don't have to worry about sales because people will come and buy it. That was the philosophy of the early manufacturing. If you look at automobile manufacturing, if you look at even electronics manufacturing back in the mid 1900s, etc., it was, we will build a better mousetrap and people will come. That is not true today. Today, the buyer has all of the power because of the information economy and the information technology. At the buyer's fingertips, they have multiple options for solving their needs. And in many considerations, the prospect thinks, rightly or wrongly, that they don't need a sales representative. They can just go on the internet and find what they need and try to use that as their particular solution to find a need. So major advances occurring in the information technology, again, has given the buyer all the power. That means we as sales representatives have to work harder to ensure that we are developing a relationship with our prospects and with our customers. We have to work harder to make sure we are solving their needs with a particular solution or a particular product or a particular service that we're offering for them. So if you look at some major developments starting from really the 60s, but the key thing really is starting from the 90s, especially the mid-90s, when the information boom and the internet really exploded. The major advances in information technology has created an electronic commerce where many prospects, many customers think that they don't need a sales representative. There are strategic resources in information. So people use Google all the time and they think Google is gospel. Well, we know that anybody can put anything on Google and it's not vetted. So prospects and customers, however, use information as their strategic resource, whether it's right or whether it's wrong. Business has to be defined by customer relationships, and that's got to go beyond information. It's got to go beyond what they can find in the internet and what they can find online. That's where we as sales representatives and that relationship with prospects become even more important as we create and we add value beyond just information. We can really understand prospects' needs, understands prospects' problems, create that value, and then we become more than just the internet. We become a real problem solver, and we also help develop their marketing plan, and we use our marketing plans in order to do that. So there's a wide range of employment opportunities in personal selling. And again, many of you might not go into personal selling or go into what we would call a sales profession. But think of you accountants, and you're going to be a partner in an accounting firm. One of the ways to become a partner is to bring in your own business or bring business into the firm. That's the way that you become a partner. You do that by selling. For you finance people, you might be selling, especially in corporate finance, you might be selling your boss or the CEO, even if you're the CFO, on why one particular idea or one particular corporate move is better than another. Those of you that are going into investment finance, well, you've got to bring in your own investment clientele in order to grow your business. That's where sales comes in. For those of you that are going to be in careers in personal selling, generally speaking, personal selling has above average income if you look at versus other business jobs out there or business career. There's a huge opportunity for advancement within the company. Once you get sales experience, you can move into a marketing role. You can move into all types of business development roles or anything like that. And also, there's opportunities for women and minorities, because basically, if you're a salesperson, then you're making your own opportunities, regardless of your ethnic background or regardless of where you come from, or whether you're a man or a woman or what have you. If you can sell and you can drive revenue into the organization, you're valued and you're sought after. So basically, I kind of like this graphic because it talks about how a salesperson spends their time. But if you look in the lower left-hand corner, really face-to-face selling is only about 1/4 of what you're going to be doing as a salesperson. You're going to be doing a lot of sales prep and a lot of administrative tasks. And that means putting together sales strategies, prospecting for different customers. Once you prospect for different customers, understanding their needs, and then going back to your home office or back to your organization and understanding what solutions, whether that be a service, whether that be a product or what have you, that you're going to sell in order to meet those prospects' needs. And then, of course, you've got a lot of travel, especially for those of you that are going to take a global role, or those of you that are going to take a domestic and a national role over more of a regional role. Even if you're in a regional role, though, there is traveling, there is waiting, and there is quite a bit of other things that you're going to do beyond what we would call just face-to-face selling. Now, this is also important. Most of you salespeople that employ or start as a salesperson right out of college, you're going to usually start as an inside salespeople. Those people perform selling inside the corporation. Your job is going to be prospecting. Your job is going to be setting up meetings for the outside sales reps. Your job is going to be data mining. Your job is going to be understanding who the best prospects are and making contacts that way. Most salespeople start for the first couple of years as inside salespeople. It's not an easy task. You're going to be on the phone a lot. You're going to be prospecting a lot. And obviously, that's not an easy thing to do. Once you put in your time as an inside sales representative, oftentimes you'll be promoted to an outside sales representative, where you're going to be traveling. You're going to have inside sales representatives reporting to you or helping you out, helping you with managing prospects, helping you with finding prospects, etc. And then you'll be out looking for business on the outside and meeting business people at their place of employment. So selling through channels for a service provider, generally speaking, you can be looking through a service channel, or you can be using the service provider right to the direct channel. In manufacturer or industrial salespeople, there's really a couple of ways to go here. You can be a manufacturer's rep and sell right to the industrial company, or working for a company and selling right to a particular industrial company. You can also be a manufacturer or a manufacturer's rep and sell through a distributor. For instance, in the beer industry, all beer is sold through distributors. So you have a manufacturer, say you're a manufacturer of beer or you're a manufacturer of some food item like that. You would sell through a distributor, and then they would sell to an industrial consumer. That industrial consumer might be a bar or a restaurant or something like that. And then you can also be a missionary salesperson, where you're a manufacturer and then you sell to a missionary salesperson who transcends many, many businesses. So, for instance, a missionary salesperson might be a person that has a line of medical supplies, selling to the industrial customer, which would be a hospital. They might sell and represent multiple manufacturers and multiple lines in that particular case. And then finally, there's the consumer sales path, and that would be manufacture right directly to consumer. You don't see that very often. Mostly see you manufacture either through a retailer, or you see a manufacturer through a distributor, then a retailer, and then the consumer. So this is going to end part one of our introduction. We will be back with part two very shortly in the next particular video module.